Hello everyone, today we'll be looking at some quick solutions to the chemistry section of All India AIATS Test Series JEE Main 2019 Test 7 Code A and B. So let's start with the first question. Question number 31. Consider the two given structures. So we have been given two structures 1 and 2. To distinguish these two isomeric hydrocarbons, which method worked best among the following? So we have to assume that the benzene ring remains unaffected in ozonolysis. So let us start with the first option. In the first option, both the structures are made to undergo oxidative ozonolysis. So let's first try and start with that. So it is already mentioned to us that the benzene ring is not affected during ozonolysis. So when this is allowed to undergo oxidative ozonolysis, it is going to form carboxylic acids at the positions where the double bond was present. So next it is subjected to heat. Now students, we know that geminal dicarboxylic acid on heating, they undergo loss of a CO2 molecule, which will lead to the formation of PHCH2COH. Now when this is subjected to I2NaOH, so it will not respond to the iodoform test. The basic medium will just extract this acidic hydrogen and convert this into the corresponding carboxylate ion. So we're going to have PHCH2CO minus. Okay. Let us start with the second structure now. In the second structure, the position of the double bond has been shifted. So when this is subjected to oxidative ozonolysis, we're going to have formation of a ketone at one point, whereas there will be the formation of carboxylic acid at the other point. So this is a beta keto acid. This will also undergo decarboxylation upon heating, and it is going to give us PHCO and CH3. So this structure now formed, students, it will respond to the iodoform test as it is a methyl ketone. So this is going to give us the benzoate ion PHCO minus plus a yellow precipitate of iodoform will be formed. So we can see that the first option is correct, as the first structure did not give iodoform, but the second structure gave iodoform as a precipitate. Okay. So the first option will be able to distinguish between them. Let us look at the second option now. So in the second option, we have Bayer's reagent. So this Bayer's reagent will be decolorized by both of them, as both of them have the double bonds. So the second option will not be able to distinguish them. Let us look at the third option now. O3H2O heating and passing the evolved gas over lime water. So students, we have already seen in the first option that both the structures liberate CO2, and as such this test will not be able to distinguish between them. Let us look at the fourth option now. So in the fourth option, the examiner seems to be interested in the bromine water test. So the bromine water will be decolorized by both of them, as we had seen in the second option. Okay. So students, we have to mark the first option as the correct answer to this question. Let us look at the next question. Question number 32. Which of the following is not correct about sodium lauryl sulfate? Students, if we talk about this detergent, sodium lauryl sulfate, it is also called as sodium dodecyl sulfate. So if we try and write the formula of this detergent which is given to us, we'll have CH3 CH2 whole 10 CH2 SO3 minus and Na plus. So we can clearly see that this is the anionic detergent. The anionic part is involved in the cleansing action. Okay. So let us now look at the option. So the first option is incorrect, as it is mentioned to us that it is a cationic detergent. The second statement is correct. It is an anionic detergent. Let us look at the third statement now. It is a sodium salt of sulfonated long chain hydrocarbon. This is also correct, students. We have a chain of 12 carbons with the sulfonate ion at one end. Let us look at the fourth statement now. In this detergent, the anionic part of the molecule is involved in cleansing action, students. We had already seen that this statement is also correct. So the examiner seems to be interested in the statement which is not correct, and we have to select option 1 as the correct answer to our question. Question number 33. In the given sequence of reaction, the end product, which is also the major product, formed is. So if we look at the reagent now, we have been given CHBr3 and it is allowed to react with a strong base, which is the tertiary butoxide ion. So this tertiary butoxide ion will cause alpha elimination in the bromo form. So there will be a loss of an H and a Br, and there will be a formation of the dibromocarbon radical. Now students, this dibromocarbon radical will directly add to the double bond present, leading to the formation of a cyclopropene, which is going to have bromine as well. Okay, so this is our major product A, which is formed in the reaction. And looking at the options, we have to select option 4 as the correct answer to our question. Let us look at the next question. Question number 34. So it says, P is the probability of finding the electron of hydrogen atom in a spherical shell of infinitesimal thickness dr at a distance of r from the nucleus. The volume of this shell is 4 pi r square dr. Some qualitative sketch of the dependence of P on r are given below. So which of the above curves are correct? Looking at the graph given in option A, students, this graph is incorrect. The examiner seems to be interested in the plot of PR versus R. So this PR can also be written as 4 pi R square dr into mod of psi square. Okay. So the first graph is incorrect because it represents the graph of psi versus R and not the PR versus R. Okay. Let us look at the second graph now, given in option B. So the graph given in option B is correct. The graph for 2s is going to have one radial node, which is depicted at this position. Okay. Let us look at the graph given in option C. The graph given in option C will be automatically incorrect. This graph again represents the graph of psi versus R and not PR versus R. Okay. Let us look at the graph given in option D now. The graph given in option D is also correct. This graph correctly represents the variation of PR versus R. So the examiner seems to be interested in the curves which are correct. So we can see that the curves given in B and D are correct, and we have to select option 2 as the correct answer to question number 34. Let us look at the next question. Question number 35. Which of the following is not the correct statement about the following reaction? So the examiner seems to be interested in talking about the incorrect statement. So if we try and figure out the product which will be formed. So we have an alene which is allowed to react with 2 moles of peroxyacetic acid. So this peroxyacetic acid is going to form an epoxide at both of these alkenes. So if we try and draw the structure, so we're going to have the formation of epoxides. The examiner is also interested in knowing about the stereochemistry. So we can talk about that also. So the major product which will be formed is given by this structure. Okay. So if you look at the options, the final product does not contain any plane of symmetry. Students, this statement is correct. It is not possible for this compound to have a plane of symmetry because of these epoxide rings. Okay. If you look at the second statement now, epoxide is formed in the reaction. This statement is correct, students. There is indeed the formation of epoxide in this reaction. If you look at the third statement now, in final product, all carbon atoms are sp3 hybridized. Students, this statement is also correct. In the product, all of these carbons are sp3 hybridized, as each of them forms 4 sigma bonds. Let us look at the fourth statement now. Only one double bond undergoes epoxidation. This statement is incorrect, students. And since the examiner is interested in knowing about the incorrect statement, so we have to select option 4 as the correct answer to our question. Let us look at question number 36.